Always glad to have you in.
Yeah, thanks for having me in today.
You guys are on a 10-game win streak right now, but in the early goings of the year, as a young team that kind of you win one, you lose one, but what has really changed during this 10-game win streak for your group?
Well, consistency and putting the effort together over 60 minutes. I think we'd see, parts of a game where we'd have this type of an effort and then it would go away, but it was inconsistency. And, some of that was followed up with some poorly timed penalties and also just, guys just trying to get the experience at this level where they need to know how to compete for 60 minutes.
It's your first year in the ESCHL conference. It's your first time going into a playoff, and you go there, you do extremely well, you win it all. How big is that for your team's confidence, momentum, and overall just your experience level?
It's huge. One of the reasons we went in the conference, I remember going back and forth, do we go into a conference, do we not? We had this opportunity, and I remember having a conversation with the coach at Minot, Wade, who I have a great deal of respect for, and Wade said to me, you know what, it gives you that Nationals-like feeling a week and a half, 2 weeks before, and that's exactly what it does do. You lose, you go home. Friday night, we didn't play all that well against Westchester. We're up 4-1, let them back in the game. Saturday played a lot better. It was more of a playoff-style game against Rhode Island, and they're a strong team. And then really played our best game on Sunday against Stony Brook.
Talk about experience for young guys. One guy that's just blown up on the map is Quinn Ryan.
Yeah.
When you were recruiting this kid, did you expect him to come into Liberty in his freshman year? You could basically call him right now a bona fide #1 center in the ACHA. Were you expecting to see that out of him?
Well, he had great ability, and you want to get him in here and see, is he going to be able to do that day in and day out, or is he going to be able to do it one day and then off for two and back on? And so I think the consistency we've seen in Quinn's game over the second half of the year has really elevated him into the into being a #1 center. But he definitely did have the ability. I mean, we saw that at the beginning of the year. But you look for consistency. Is he going to bring that and compete? And boy, he's if there's one thing that's really indicated a big change in his game is the way he competes in both ends of the rink.
It seems like in previous years, Liberty hockey has peaked at maybe mid-season, and then you can't retain that form throughout. It seems like right now you've peaked at the perfect time. How happy are you with your team's overall game going into nationals?
Yeah, we're extremely happy, and I think that what we've tried to do is when we beat Davenport, I think that was one of the first times where we said to the guys, look, this isn't, a few years ago we beat Penn State, just before Christmas. It seemed like everything that we had was on those Penn State games, and we wanted to make sure that, hey, that's great work on Davenport, let's get back to work on Monday. And we've tried to do that same thing as we've gone along here. And again, it was a huge win on Sunday. We're back to work this week and going to get our game in shape. And we really believe we can go from being a good team to being a great team and continue to push the envelope with that.
Your next chance to get better is coming up here at Nationals. You're the number 16 seed going up against Colorado State, a team that you haven't seen this year. What is that like?
Well, you know what? We've got a great video coordinator in Carl Harder who's getting together some great stuff for us, and we've sent around some message to some of the coaches who they've played and are trying to build out our scouting report on them. But what we do know is they're a hardworking team, and I believe that plays right into our hands. I mean, we want to be a hardworking team, and we want to outwork our opposition. So I believe it's going to be a great first-round matchup for us. We're going to have to be ready to go at the start of the game. We're going to have to play a 60-minute game in order to get the job done. But our guys have proven over this 10-game stretch that we can get to that 60-minute mark, and that's important for us.
Kirk, thanks for coming in, and best of luck at Nationals.
Yeah, thanks, Rhett. Appreciate it.